Good day, neighbor. Today we are working on bikes again. We're going to go over to Big Fred's house and we're going to meet up with Freddy and see what they've got going on. We made it over here to Big Fred's and we got little Fred over here. Say hi, Freddy.
Hey, yo!
Freddy and his brother Braden have been working on both of these motorcycles here. So this is a Honda CM400 that we got right here. And then another Yamaha XS650, just like all the ones that I've got. We're gonna give Freddy a little platform here for a minute so he can get you up to speed on what we got going on with this bike. Check it out.
I picked this up in, I would say, April this year. It kind of sat here in shambles. It was just kind of the wheels were off, shocks were off, this whole front end was taken apart. So I was told when I got it that it was running, and indeed it is, but it was disassembled for one of my friends that was going to turn it into more of a hardtail bobber project. I ended up taking possession of it, and I'm kind of going a little different route. I'm doing it more of a soft tail bobber style mini 8s. I got this tank actually from Zane's Parts Bikes. I fell in love with it the second I laid eyes on it because of all the patina and the old school pinstriping, and that was kind of my vision for the whole bike. So I'm doing more of a kind of a rat rod bike, or a rat bike you would say. There hasn't been a ton that it's needed so far. Most of it was just things that were missing, and then other little tasteful things. I started with essentially making sure that the cylinders were all clear, so I put Marble Mystery Oil in it, slowly kicked it over, boroscoped down into it to make sure I wasn't scoring the cylinders. After about a week and having rebuilt the carburetors, I was able to fire it up, and like you heard already, everything sounds pretty damn good. There's some fine tuning I'm going to need to do, but the rest of it from here is kind of just getting it to function. It had no chain, both sprockets are roached, tires are alright, tubes are shot. This exhaust is a mess, but otherwise it's kind of just aesthetics from here. So everything that I've done so far is just kind of along that line of vision that I have. So yeah, but I'll bring Zane in here for a close-up of some of my favorite mods. I think my favorite thing that I've done so far is appropriating Harley parts. Harley guys are probably going to be pissed at me, but it looks cool. This is from Prism Supply. I retrofitted it to the stock coil, but they're nice silicone cloth, vintage type spark plug wires. Pod filters are probably not going to stay. I think I'm going to try to go a different route with these, but for now those are on there. They were on there when I got it. Tank is going to stay mostly like this. The frame is also going to stay like that. I'm kind of leaving it ratty like I mentioned before, so I'll polish it out, kind of make it look good. Engine I want pristine, so my goal is to kind of go rat rod with it and make the engine the cleanest, coolest, best functioning thing on the bike. So this I got from Zane's Parts bin as well. This came off of what I believe was a 77 XS650, so these don't quite line up, but I'm going to modify it a little bit to make this work because I love this style of old school. Just, I mean, look at the welds on this thing. It was kind of boogered, but it looks right on. So I'm leaving the rear fender. I like these cool, more of a blocky style mag wheel. Style mag wheel, so we're going to leave those. Most likely going to go with a Firestone tire with a linear tread pattern. That's something that I've always wanted to do with these. As far as seat goes, there's a guy on eBay that makes custom XS650 seats that fit this rear piece here. I know there's a word for it that I can't remember, but it basically is a flat seat. It'll kind of start here, go up, arches up in the back, like me. And then there'll be a bag when I go travel places and whatnot. Otherwise, everything is mostly complete. The only thing I don't know what I'm going to do yet with is Headlight. Toying with the idea of retrofitting this plastic one on there from my old 79 Honda. The reason being is that it's hollow, it's kind of ratty, it's got zip stitch. It's kind of more the look. If I want to go nuts with it though, I have this PIAA pancake light that's actually an off-road light. Doesn't have brights, which is a disadvantage, but it would look kind of cool on the front. Once I figure out how to mount the headlight. I'm not keeping these stock tabs. These are most likely going to be replaced with Moon Eye's bullet light kit that they sell. Same in the rear. But yeah, so that's kind of my A couple other things I've done is brought these brakes back. I don't know for how long. It is a safety hazard, so I'm gonna kind of do some running around the neighborhood, make sure they're good. But these are the original, as far as I know, master cylinders. I was able to bleed them both out, and what came out of them looked akin to diarrhea. It's pretty gross, but I put a syringe on the bleeder and was able to push and basically force all that old fluid out, and it's clear. So brakes are both working perfectly, front and rear, and all I have left now that is crucial is I've got some wiring gremlins in here. So someone cut the rear harness, so I'll need to rewire this. There's some weird issue where the gauge cluster up here kind of flickers on and off, so I'll need to sort that out. But for the most part, it's close. It's close. The choke.
You're literally shooting garbage out of that.
I am fumigated.
Fumigated.
For those of you who were around for my earlier video on the Hardware Habit channel when I was giving content to that, this is pretty similar to that bike. This is a 1980 CM400. So differences would be that this has mag wheels, disc brakes, and electric start. Mine doesn't have any of that, but my brother has done a pretty fantastic job at this so far. There's some funny things. This isn't staying on here. My grandpa kind of just jammed it in here.
Look at this, look at this.
Huh?
Old school sissy bar. Hey, Spade.
What does the Spade mean?
The Spade means you're groovy, dude. This is 70s stuff, man. This is 70s.
It looks like a what?
Yeah, he's replaced the shocks, bled both the brakes out as well, and got the starter replaced, the solenoid replaced this upper gauge cluster, and that this looks mint. Found one that was new old stock. This looks fantastic. But yeah, we're pretty close to getting this started. We just had to replace the ignition computer or module because the capacitor wasn't creating a draining spark. But I think we're at that point now. The issue we ran into with this one is these have a resistor spark plug boot, and the resistors had no continuity in it, so we were chasing no spark for basically that. But that computer was rusted, or that module was rusted. It was terrible. But this one's pretty close too, so we can check back in later. But yeah, for now, that's our bikes.
When you hard, you hard.
Fred had to fire up the air compressor to clean a vacuum from 1892.
That stinks. I smell like an old girlfriend.
Ah! Now we're going to join Freddy as he rebuilds the Petcocks on here.
I've got the all the Petcock parts in here. These are the stock ones that I'm rebuilding. And then there's a variety of hardware for this and some other things inside that little T-ball. But yeah, let's go throw these on there and see how it looks.
All right, bro, you want to bring those Petcocks over? Okay, yeah, you want to bring those Petcocks over?
I got you.
Hey, you want to... Yeah, we just need those Petcocks over here.
Yeah.
Okay, and then while you're over here, you'll bring those Petcocks?
Yep. What I'm doing here is kind of a roundabout way of covering up that I'm a dip. And I thought this bike was an 82 for the longest time. So I've been ordering the wrong parts for a little while. My bad. But anyway, so I'm making do with what I have because I don't want to buy this and wait again. But it ends up working out because Yamaha was brilliant in the way that they just used the same parts with a slightly different design. So you can see the inside of this Petcock is pretty much the same. So I was able to rebuild the old original one with this shape using the one that I ordered for an 82 here. So that's what I'm gonna do now. Swapperoo.
Spit on that thing.
And now we can reinstall the Petcock on the bottom after we clean up this extreme goober. We'll leave some of that on there though because it's WD-40 that I use to prevent flash rusting inside the tank. So that's all right with me. Alright, that's flat. That goes there. That screw goes in there. This one goes in here. And again, to drive the point home, I'm leaving some of these things looking the way that they are, but making it mechanically sound. So this might look like an old, crusty Petcock that's probably going to leak, but it's got new innards, and it pitches itself to the ratty look. So if you don't like it, then boy do I have some bad news for you. Just kidding. Everything's up for debate. If you don't like it, comment down below why, and then I'll ignore it. Okay. Alright, these go here. This goes here. Now, my next thing that I need to do is this long fuel tube. I'm sure you were wondering why this is so long. Because this tank doesn't belong on this bike. That is off of, I believe, a 75. And this carburetor wasn't set up for the Petcocks that are on there, but the thread pitch is different on every other Petcock, so I had to use a straight out instead of a 90-degree angle outlet. So I ended up buying a brass T from O'Reilly and making my own fuel T. And now I have to build a fuel line that works with these two. So it has to basically come out and then in and then down into the carb over there. There.
Percussive maintenance.
Yep.
Good pliers I handed you. You bend it?
Yep.
Okay, let's get a thicker
And
one.
it did pull.
That will wrap it up for what we got done at Grandpa Fred's house. We're going to go back to Hardware HQ and get started on some of my stuff there.